If you've watched this channel for a long time, you know that I am the world's foremost Supergirl expert. I've read every Supergirl iteration out there and every Supergirl comic. I actually just finished up John Byrne's Superman run where they brought back this Supergirl from another dimension who's really a shapeshifter, which is a lot of fun. And that spurred on Peter David's incarnation of the character, which is, even though that's not the real Supergirl, not the real Kara Zor-El, it is still the best iteration of the character from DC Comics. And so when I'm watching what James Gunn doing right here, I'm turning Supergirl, an aspirational character who's supposed to be the sweet, innocent younger cousin of Kal-El. That is who she really is built up to be, and unfortunately has been, just all over the map in recent years. There's no consistency in the writing for the character. It's just calling her a total mess, and of course going with Tom King's iteration of this it is a total mess. That's all it is. And so let's get into this and the nuts and bolts of why this is a complete disaster for the DC Universe and for Supergirl as a brand and character. Please hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things writing and comics. And guys, my Flying Sparks is really a reaction to like Supergirl, Batgirl, not having consistent writing. And so if you have read my Flying Sparks, you know that Chloe Metagirl is a character that really fits that mold very, very well. Now, she doesn't have her own powers, and she's got confidence issues in that. So she's not a Supergirl in that sense. That's not how I'd write Kara Zor-El. But she does have flying superpowers, and she does do what's right. She is a real hero, and she's working towards it, and she builds herself up as she trains over the issues and actually becomes a better hero in the process. That's what you do. You try, and you try again, and you don't stop trying. That's a big part of real heroism, and I hope you'll check this out on my JDA Comics Substack. Now, Substack's a great free speech platform where I post a web-page comic every single day. As you see, we just got to issue number 3, so you've got a lot of back-reading comics you can read already just getting into Flying Sparks for free as I post them every single day. I've also got paid content, so if you want to support us and support what we're doing to build an alternative to the comic book industry out there, we have exclusive comics with extra sensory. This is not anywhere else except for my Subscribestar, which is a paid thing too. And of course, we have Flying Sparks commentary, the origin of Flying Sparks and developments and things like that. There is a lot going on right here, which is really where comics are. So that's where the healthy environment's at. It's with Webtoon. It's with getting real readership. And I hope you'll be a real reader and actually come in and check this out and build this patronage model where you support me and my arts because you like what you're reading on the page. And that is where the comic book industry has really gone astray in recent years. And really nothing's been more astray than James Gunn and, of course, what's been doing on with this universe. This universe is already a cluttered mess with Creature Commandos, with the Superman movie. It doesn't make sense as a unified universe already. And for Supergirl, it's going to be a complete disaster because of what they're doing with it, making this dark and edgy Supergirl deal. Now, what this is based on is Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, Tom King's little series that he did, turning the character into this dark and edgy character. It starts out with her as a total mess, as you see with James Gunn saying right here. And because of that, she's vomiting because she's drinking so much, she's depressed, she's angry, and ends up on this like weird revenge stories tale that does not fit the Supergirl character whatsoever. Like I said, the Supergirl character, the hallmark of it is that she is a innocent person, that she's really a do-gooder, that she is looking up to her cousin Kal-El, and that she's helping him, of course, to make humanity a better place. And so when you take this out of it, it becomes a big problem. Now, this is all set in space, and it doesn't have much to do with humanity at all. So this is going to be quite the weird train wreck of a movie that is something that's not going to be relatable whatsoever. Now, when Tom King made this, he actually stole the plot. He just decided to do True Grit, which is a very fun and deep cowboy adventure. Again, it's just not a Supergirl story, and he just plops Supergirl into it. It's meant to be an Elseworld story because it doesn't make sense as Supergirl. It doesn't make sense with the real character. He literally just put her costume and the name on it, and it doesn't feel like the character at all, and that's what makes an Elseworlds, right? And so they're using the brand to tell this like other story. Now, looking at it, there are competent parts to it. If it was not a Supergirl story, if he made it an original character and did this like hyper powerful person in space in a revenge story doing True Grit, it might have been okay, but the offensive part is what they're doing to Supergirl, again, because that's not correct for the character. And this is what James Gunn is saying on this. Supergirl is depicted as a drunk party girl, and like I said, it leads into this deal, who doesn't even realize that the door to the Fortress of Solitude has not moved. And Gunn spoke to Screen Rant about this. Really sad. It's a destruction of the character. And this is I mean, at the end of the day, this is what they want to encourage, young white girls to be. I mean, this is you want to get into the global political element of it. There's always something here, and they want to destroy, of course, young white women as mothers and as women in order to push this, in order to help destroy the American society. That's why they do this. You think Hollywood's doing this stuff by mistake? It's not. Tom King, again, in writing this for DC Comics, is a CIA asset. He is not just some random person. So you want to get into the conspiracies? It's all real, guys. Every conspiracy that's been out there has been proven real at this point. And so that is the thing that you're not going to hear anywhere else because everybody's too afraid to call it what it is. They hate white people and they want to destroy white people. That's what it's about. And so she's a mess. She's a total mess. I think as we learned, she's had a completely different background from Superman, a difficult background. He's had this wonderful upbringing by the two parents that loved him, were very healthy. Her background is much different than that, and she ended up different than her cousin. Yeah, it's a destruction of the character, like I said. It's not super at all. It's quite the opposite, and it's really, really sad. So this was announced, as I said, as Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, but Gunn revealed it just retitled to just Supergirl because it's too complicated. And Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is a mouthful and doesn't quite make sense because you got girl and woman back to back, so it's a mixed message of how old she is, right? So really, just bad title on that. I know that Superman's called Man of Tomorrow, right? But and they're trying to emulate that with that, but it doesn't work. And if she is a science fiction woman of tomorrow, you're saying the woman of tomorrow is this drunken, party person who's nihilistic and angry and all that. I mean, gosh, is that really what tomorrow is at this juncture? It's really an anti-science fiction concept at this level. So it's based off this, and it's based on the comic. He's been one of the architects of this entire situation, Tom King. He's been one of the guys in the room with us with 4 or 5 others. I love his take on these characters. James Gunn says he turns them to be slightly very unique. It's unique, all right, in the fact, well, it's not. It's not unique whatsoever. All of this goes back to, and I keep saying this over and over, Alan Moore. Alan Moore took characters and he made a parody of the Charlton comics that Steve Ditko made, real heroes that actually had real depth to them, and he turned these parodies into these, again, drunken nihilistic nightmares in The Watchmen, and everybody's been aping that ever since. Oh, we got to have dark Batman now, and Dark Knight Returns, yay. We got to have dark Supergirl now. It's really just cringy at this juncture that everybody's done this and everybody's done the exact same thing. It's not unique at all. It's a lie about what Tom King's doing here. This is terrible writing. It's cliched writing at this point. And the thing is, like, the cliches of like the 1940s and 1950s superheroes where they're, very happy, perky, kind of perfect individuals, those don't exist anymore. And nobody's doing them anymore. Nobody's making aspirational characters or these like, sort of mythological characters that are somebody to aspire to anymore. And there's a whole reason for that. Like I said, it's about destroying white culture, and that's what they want to do. They want to subvert and tear it down in this level. And so in this story, Superman was sent to Earth, raised by loving parents. Kara was on Krypton. She was a piece on Krypton that drifted away from the planet, lived there for 14 years in a horrible situation where she watched everyone around her die. It's much harsher and much more effed up Supergirl than you've been used to so far. So this is going to be a disaster. She's traveling across the galaxy to celebrate her 21st birthday, and this is the Tom King panel I kept mentioned. I'm going to throw up. I'm sorry, and this is it. Not very super way to start this, and she's barfing in a bucket as this person's asking for her help, of course, in taking somebody down. So I'm not very excited about this whatsoever. It's quite the opposite of what Supergirl should be all the way. And this is just, again, showing that these people in Hollywood have no concept of what heroism is, no concept of what good storytelling is, and it's going to continue on this path. So if you like my thoughts on storytelling, guys, get in on my Flying Sparks today. Like I said, this is kind of where a Supergirl-esque character is at least in like the terms of her sort of personality and mental way that she's being. It's a little different of a story, a little different of a character all the way around. And if I did have Kara Zor-El, I'd do something different with it as well. But this is a good storytelling. This is what DC Comics should be, guys. And I would love for you to get in on my Substack. Sign up in the description below. Thank you so much for supporting our channel, supporting our artistic endeavors as we fight back against what DC Comics and their cohorts in Hollywood are doing to our society with the culture. Appreciate you being here. Leave a comment down below with what you think. We'll be back soon.